We got a group of kids. We've got a staff that goes about their business the right way. It's a fun group to coach. It's fun to come to work every day. We've been through some battles. I think sometimes those tough things that you go through in life, in the game of football, I think resembles life as much as anything, right? It prepares you for something that's ahead, right? And I think the character of this group, their ability to kind of sort through winning and losing, right? To look each other in the eye, to have some integrity, to take ownership in the things that they can do better at the player level, at the staff level. And look, we've struggled on the road, and certainly tonight was one heck of a football game. But I do think some of the toughness that we built, some of the resolve that we built, the relationships, this group has done nothing but get closer. I think it's almost galvanized the group, and we came here today to prove something. And what a way to win a football game, right? But a lot of credit to South Carolina. Their team showed up and competed. I thought in particular on offense they did a lot of great things, caused issues for us. And look, we needed every play all the way down to the end to find a way to win it. There was a lot of situational football in the game. I'm just really proud of the team's resolve. There's a lot of times out there tonight where they could have folded their cards now, okay? And we didn't do that. And some incredible plays, some incredible extra effort plays. I know you guys got a lot of questions. I want to let you get to that, but hats off to South Carolina. What a football game, what a venue, but certainly proud of our team, the character that they showed. It's a good way to go into an open date, that's what I would tell you. Right? So we're going to enjoy this thing. It's important that we keep our humility. We have lots to do to improve as a team. Individual players can improve, parts of our staff can improve, and we need to play better going forward. There are definitely things that we can get better at. So what questions we have here?
You talk about the resolve in the fourth quarter. I think it was 3 fourth down conversions. What does that say about Graham and the offense and the ability to kind of fight through that much final 2 drives?
Yeah, some unbelievable plays in the game. Graham Mertz in particular, you can't help but respect the competitive spirit of the kid. The toughness, the decision making. I just thought he was fantastic. Never flinched. And look, I get to be around the guy every day. I know how much the guy's worked. Okay, going all the way back to the very beginning of the process. This is a young man that came here on a mission, right, and had a plan, and he's worked. He's a product of his work. For him to operate the way he does in our system in the first year, the level of comprehension, the high level of decision making that's happening out there, I can't tell you how impressed I am with the kid. So, and look, I think we're starting to play better around him. That's what I would say. We're starting to play a little bit better up front. The 2 freshman tight ends are growing up. We're getting some play from some receivers. And, I think ultimately we're capable. We can score. I think at times we haven't been able to execute consistently. But he's at the center today for sure. Very impressed with him as a person and as a leader.
Billy, Ricky's performance today, what did you think about the way that he played, especially in the fourth quarter, coming up with some huge catches?
Yeah, no, I hugged both of them's neck in the locker room, and I said, hey, man, this is why you come to Florida. Get an opportunity to play in that type of venue in this league and make critical plays in critical moments. Ricky's another guy who's a product of a lot of hard work. Those 2 guys they're pace setters, right? They set the tone. When they walk in the building every day, it's like, hey, those 2 guys, they know how to work. They're tough. They're students of the game. They work hard from a self-discipline standpoint. They're leaders. They're good examples. Both got character. Special. Fun to coach, man.
Coach,
What
when
was
you
that
go out
moment
with
like when you hugged him? What was that moment like?
Just like you would think it would be. Yeah.
Can you describe it?
Yeah, I mean, come on now, Edgar. You got a lot of questions you can ask. I don't know if that's one I would ask.
Coach, what's his mood like going into that last drive? I mean, back to Graham. What's his mood like? You know, before I know you're going down your play sheet, kind of talking about things, but
Yeah, when we're down 10 is when it was like really thick in there, right? I mean, it's 2 scores. There's about 9 minutes left. It became very evident we got to put one together and we got to get a stop. We had to burn one of our timeouts on a 4th down play. 3rd down play, I should say. And so we got 2 timeouts, and the clock is ticking, right? So that's the thing that's impressive. We didn't do it just once; we did it twice, right? So, and he made plays on schedule, and then he made some plays off schedule. I think that's probably the most impressive thing about him.
How important was it to get the pieces around Mertz going? We've talked a lot about deep passes and all that kind of stuff, and you said pretty consistently that you needed help from other guys. To get that today, just how important?
Yeah, I think ultimately our teams are the best when our offensive line is playing at a really high level. Right? I mean, ultimately that's how we got this job. That's how we've had success moving the ball. Even since we've been at Florida, we can have balance, when we can play with physicality, when we can rush the ball, makes all the complementary plays better. I do think our offensive line last week, the Vanderbilt week, and this week of practice has been our best 2 weeks, right? And I think we're starting to get some continuity. We got guys stepping up. Guys are improving as players. We get Austin back, it's big. Certainly, Jake Slaughter. I mean, can't compliment him enough. I mean, he's had a good couple of weeks here. So, the tight ends they're both freshmen, right? So I think they're improving, and I think 3 is unique, right? He presents you opportunities to be creative and get in plays. I mean, he made some incredible plays out there today. One of the plays that I think was awesome in the game, okay? Coach Burr used to say, God smiled on the Gators, right? Well, when we threw that slant to Ricky and it got tipped up in the air and Trey Wilson caught it and kept running, I would say God smiled on the Gators today. So, just very appreciative of the attitude, the energy, the effort from the staff. Challenge the staff early in the week. Lead your men. Impact the players. Let's play our best football. Knowing that it was going to be that way. Having been here a few times in the past, this place is a tough place to play. So, and that quarterback's a good player, and they got some good skill players around him. So, good day.
We heard multiple players say this week, start fast, finish fast. Was that kind of the theme that you guys wanted to get in this game, and how critical was it to score on that first touchdown drive, and then obviously to finish the way you did in the 4th quarter?
Yeah, I think, we know from an analytics perspective the importance of starting fast in the game, right? If you can score on the first possession, it's huge. If you can be ahead at halftime, it's huge. Without making that too big of a deal with the players, I think it is important that you start the right way, in particular on the road. Think about our issues on the road. We've sputtered a little bit early. So we had a good plan. We started with a good mix there early, and we executed at a high level. Right? So featuring a lot of different players in that drive, and Mertz was outstanding. So, yeah, it's a big deal. I think ultimately that's what we've learned from the 2 road losses. I mean, the big thing is when the ball gets spotted and it's time to play, we need to throw the first punch. We need to be lathered up, ready to go, and be aggressive in how we play. And it was evident that we had that early. Now, defensively, we got work to do to try to figure out some of the issues that we had tonight. But when we had to make a stop, we got to stop.
Yeah. What lines did Spencer put you guys in, you think? And how did you adjust on that last possession to get the ball back, you think, in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I mean, I think the guys, first of all, their offensive line played, that's where they made the biggest improvement, in my opinion. Right? I think they shuffled the deck. They played them in completely different spots this week. It's evident that was a point of emphasis in the open date, and they created some run lanes in there. The back is tough to tackle. You know, we knew that coming in, but he's a big, heavy. He's got runs with the right demeanor. And look, they've got some unique skill players out there that present matchup problems for you. So you put an extra hat in there, then all of a sudden you're isolated. And combination of that and his ability to extend and escape, ultimately that's where he caused the most problems for us. He's a good player. Everybody knows that. I think they got good offensive line play around him today. Protect him a little bit better. Had a running game to complement him. That's what they haven't been able to do. And I think that'll be beneficial for their team going forward if they can continue to do that.
Time for a few more, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we saw the most of Trey in the backfield today. What kind of challenge does that pose to an opposing defense in terms of trying to account for him and his speed and how dynamic he is?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're trying to get the guy touches, you know. And I think when you're a matchup team, you're a man-to-man bracket team, not to get too technical, you know, where he's at, you know, is important. So moving him around, I think, is an important part of the game, right? So we're getting there from a skill standpoint where we've got a number of players that can create matchup issues for you. He's definitely on that list.
You've spoken about the need and importance of sustaining momentum before. You've got a buffer this week, but how important do you feel like this feeling is to take into the bye week as you prepare for the
Yeah, I think it's probably more important to remember what we felt like in the past than it is to remember how we feel right now. You know, look, the game was won during the week, in my opinion. We had the best week we've had. We worked on Sunday evening. You know, we challenged the staff, we challenged the players, do a little extra this week, right? I'd be walking around the building throughout the day, I'd see a guy doing something, you know, and it was like extra. You know, that was kind of the theme, right? I'd see Mertz, and he was adding a little bit on top of what he already does, right? So we had a fantastic Tuesday, Wednesday. Those 2 days in particular were our best days we've had. And look, I'm not just talking about players, I'm talking about all parts of our organization, from equipment video to the look squad. I mean, our job taker defense this week was outstanding. And we have a group of about probably 17, 18 kids that simulate South Carolina's defense. We call them job takers, right? And they were phenomenal. And the accuracy of the looks, the effort that they gave. I mean, it takes a team, and I thought all parts of the team had a good week. And ultimately, the character and resolve of the team is that's what's impressive to me. There's 9 minutes to go in the game, we're down 10, right? So to put 2 drives together and to get that stop, you know, we could have hung it up, right? And they didn't do that, so. It's a fun group to coach, is what I would tell you. I love them.
Last question, guys.
Khalil Jackson's catch.
Oh, man. I mean, yeah, I mean, K-Jack is, you know, he's a guy that's grown up a lot. You know, and I tell you, and look, I've always had conviction that he's a good football player. I can remember walking off the field after first practice and being like, who's that guy? You know, and he just really has matured as a person, and I think his attitude, his consistency, he stepped up in a major way.
Yeah.
When you think about, we got Caleb Douglas and Andy Jean, you know, banged up, and here, you know, this guy was not only a starter in the slot early, we moved him to X, you know, halfway point, and he's a guy. He's a durable, tough, consistent competitor. You know, and he's got my respect, and I think his teammates respect him too.
Best hands on the team?
Man, that's a long conversation.
All right. Thank you, Coach.